Welcome to TuxReadyAussie. Hi everyone, you're joining TuxReadyAussie and I on our walk today. In the past week, I've actually had a few interesting encounters with people in the public, and I plan on sharing you at least one, maybe more of those stories on this walk. If not, I'll share the other ones on a later walk, or a later video. So let's see here. The one I want to focus on is the positive, or all these had more or less positive outcomes, but I do want to focus on this one because it was a positive to me. So each dog is individually task trained to aid a person's disability. Go sniff. And as such, that means that not every single task that would benefit one person would benefit another, or even the format of the task would not benefit every single person. So for most, for me, it's an interruption task. TuxReadyAussie. Good boy. So for me, it's an interruption task, but it could also be considered an alert, and that kind of stuff. But most people, or what most people commonly think of for this behavior is a paw, or a nudge, or a lick, something along those lines. And of course, there's also the fact that a dog could be trained to bark, to alert. Again, it depends on what mitigates a disability. Now, with those being the four main ones, my dog does not do any of those, and that's because with my disability, I need a different kind of sensory input. A different kind of sensory input to trigger in my mind what's going on. So with me, pawing, so all of them would get my attention, but I don't think any of them would actually properly interrupt the behavior, because a paw would just get me, would probably annoy me, because I'd be like, why is my dog pawing me? And I mean, yes, it's a trained behavior, but in my brain it wouldn't really always connect. Leave it. It's like someone forgot to clean up after their dog. Good boy. So anyways, with me, we're almost to your spot. And a nudge would just drive me crazy. And the licking, we do kind of have a licking task, but that's an on-command thing, like a like it. Pretty much, I have a command that I tell him to do that, so I'm expecting it. And then with the nudging, there's a good chance. TuxReadyAussie. There's a good chance that either it would be too soft for me to feel it, or too hard. Oh right, and with the paws, even though I do keep his nails short, they it can still hurt. He's got some very strong paws. So anyways, the behavior is related to my hands. So what I have him do is, and of course this required a lot of bite inhibition training for him. But what I have him do is I have him put, so part of it is licking, but it's just not pure licking. It's more so that my hand feels, leave it, oh boy, more so that my hand feels the heat of his mouth or the moisture of his tongue or slight pressure from his teeth. Now, the teeth part he doesn't really like doing, which is fine, because, I mean, the goal is not to actually bite my hand. It's more so just to bring my attention to what's going on with my hand. So, we're almost to the potty spot, so I'll finish telling the rest of the story. But at least I got through the background portion. Hey, TuxReadyAussie, thank you. At least I got through the background portion before we made it to his bathroom spot. He probably thought I was giving him the command, but we're not quite there yet. Come on, almost. All right, and again, I know my dog may not care, but I'm still going to try and give him privacy as he goes potty. And we are back. Alright, so I'd left off with giving you some background, just telling you that his alert interruption behavior is different than what people normally think of. So that does mitigate my disability, the one I chose. And the only thing is that, as I said, it involves his mouth near my hand. And my concern is that people are going to misconstrue that and whatnot. So now we're going to get to the positive part of, or the story part. So yesterday was a long day for me and for him, and I have been doing my behavior on a mild level, and he was notifying me by doing his thing. He was getting rewarded, of course, for that, very subtly. And I was noticing this building up, but I was on a tour with a one-on-one tour with someone, and I'm still learning how to feel comfortable speaking up for myself in that regard. But anyways, he decided, another alert that people do is just jumping in general. But my dog typically only jumps to do his behavior if my hands are not within reach of him. So my dog jumped to do the interruption because I was doing it. It was needed to be interrupted. Or something very subtle that most people won't notice, but it's a sign on the inner side of me that I need to take some action on my end. Well, luckily it was at the end of the tour that he did it, and the other person was like, "Oh, your dog's done for the day," and it's like, that's not quite what it meant, but at least they took it positively. I explained to them that was part of his alert training, was to do the. He was going for my hand, but it did look like a jump, or it was a jump as he was going for my hand. And well, supposedly this person's dog had did that same behavior when their dog was done and wanted to leave. So I guess I just got a good person in that scenario. But at the same time, it wasn't exactly how I wanted that to go down. But at the same time, another person who didn't clean up. That's quite pleasant. TuxReadyAussie. So anyways, I did take some time to explain the task a little bit differently. I did show it to the person on, of course I didn't have to do this, but I just wanted to make sure that they understood what he was trying to achieve. And again, that was mostly because my brain was going slightly haywire. It's like, oh no, my dog jumped. I know there's a lot of assumptions out there about that, but as long as the dog is under control, that is the main aspect of having a individually task trained service animal. That's actually the first time I've seen a car on this portion of the road. So anyways, that was a positive, because it could have gone so wrong where the person was questioning my dog's training, my dog's behavior, thinking that my dog had a was able to do that when he was done for the day, but he was mostly just alerting me or interrupting my behavior to let me know that I need to take a break. And again, luckily it was at a good ending point. Yeah, so another story that I guess happened was, so it was kind of a stormy day. We decided to eat at a outdoor location, but the outdoor location was not pet friendly, so of course he was on duty, and I decided to eat at the bar side, which I don't do a lot, so it's kind of training for him to learn that even though I might not have my feet on the ground, he still has to, behave for the most part. Good boy. Well, after I'd ordered my food, and I was just sitting there eating it, a family with a young kid came by. The kid tried approaching TuxReadyAussie, and the parents were doing a great job. I definitely commend the parents. That they are teaching the kid not to just approach random dogs, which is a very important lesson to teach kids and for everybody to know. But of course, the kid still had energy, so when the parents decided to get the kid to play some. Now, of course, I wasn't aware of the kid playing, and TuxReadyAussie was just chilling on the ground, doing well, and then he let out one bark. I'm glad that pretty much everyone didn't make a word. I don't know what they were thinking, but no one made any kind of a big deal about it. And as such, that went rather well. Again, it was only one bark because I was able to refocus him. I do think the parents noticed and kind of stopped running around with their kid, which I appreciate, but my dog does get sometimes he's excited, but of course the kid had been running for like a minute or so by the time he barked. It wasn't immediately when the kid started running. So overall, that was a good story. So I am somewhat running out of breath, so I want to save that breath to get me back to the place we're staying at. So with that, TuxReadyAussie, sit, leave it, come on, TuxReadyAussie, hey, TuxReadyAussie, Over here. Sit. Please. Sit. Good. TuxReadyAussie. There we go. Good boy. As we educate business owners and dog owners and those who may have an allergy or fear of dogs or other animals to know their rights at the federal level in the United States. If we work together and become educated as a community, and we can protect people from being scammed when it comes to dogs and their rights federally.